Each major season, there's always a handful of concepts that we see do particularly well on Etsy and return year after year as top sellers. And in Q4, we see some of the biggest trends come to life. But what a lot of sellers try to do is they look for these bestsellers every year and then they simply copy them. Or they change like one thing, or they'll try and put it on a different product and call it new. But that's not how this works, and that's definitely not how you win in the Etsy marketplace. So for today's video, I'm going to walk you through an example of how I turn a past viral concept into a brand new bestseller by incorporating current trends, plus a little help from AI, along with a few design extras I sometimes add to AI designs to make them stand out even more. In case we haven't met yet, my name is Mandy, a busy boy mom and active top 1% seller on Etsy. I've spent years learning what works, and so now I am on a mission to help creative entrepreneurs like you feel confident in growing your Etsy business with print on demand so that your products can get seen, loved, and sold without the overwhelm. Each year, I do several updated videos on all things Q4, so make sure you are subscribed and come back each week as we prepare for Q4 together. Now for Halloween, one of the biggest trends that regularly returns has been this concept of cute ghost designs. And I expect them to continue to do well again this year, but with some new twists. In some cases, they're dressed up. Sometimes they're in a group, but they've all got that cute cartoonish look. One that I want to take a look at is this concept here. This was a wildly popular trend in previous years, and it's already showing as in carts in July, a clear sign of demand returning. This example is with bookish ghosts, but we saw these pop up everywhere in so many different niches. So how then do we reimagine some of these different trends that we see, or even combine them with some current trends? The first thing I think about is what other trends are doing well. For example, we see stamp designs popping up everywhere, and I even shared them in a previous trend video. Another trend that's been huge in the last year or so, the silly goose, or even one step further, dressed up geese. Once we've identified trends or concepts that we want to combine and that we think we can make sense of, we can begin pulling together a design concept. Nowadays, I tend to have a mix of AI-based designs and non-AI designs in my shop. I find that AI is really beneficial when I want to pull together something that's a bit more unique and sometimes maybe even a little outside my own skill set. Or that would be a bit more complicated or tedious to put together myself, because after all, I am not a graphic designer. For this one, I wanted to create a Halloween design similar to this newer stamp concept, but I want the ghosts to be geese dressed up as ghosts. And I want the color palette to be softer colors instead of the bright traditional Halloween colors. We've seen this do well previously in Halloween with kind of the purples and pinks and pastels, so I want to pull in that concept as well. And for the purposes of this example, I'll still have them be book-loving ghosts. I plugged my design prompt into Sora, but you can do this with most AI image generators. Sora is included as part of the ChatGPT Plus plans, but I tested it with a regular free ChatGPT and Ideogram as well, and they worked out just fine. I just happen to like the Sora version a little bit better this time. And you can see, here is what I got. And as you can see, even though I base the concept and the prompt on existing designs, what I'm actually getting and using is a completely new concept because I've combined these different elements together. And that is the goal. Not to copy, not to use AI to rip off another artist, but to leverage its capabilities and create something that I might not have otherwise come up with exactly. Now, this would work as is, but one thing I like to do sometimes is enhance AI designs with my own little extras, especially if I've got a really good baseline concept like this that I don't necessarily want to try and keep endlessly generating with AI to add more. Seriously, sometimes it's just easier and faster to add your own flair. You don't need to overcomplicate this. So from here, I take this image that I've generated with AI and I'm going to upload it, in this case, into Canva. If you're in Canva, their image upscaler app actually works pretty well. So sometimes I just use that and I use the 4x option. Then I remove the background and I also adjusted the color tone of the image slightly because ChatGPT can sometimes lean a little towards the warmer spectrum by default. Then the little extras. We know bows continue to be part of bestseller designs, and I think one makes sense here too, especially since this has more of that cutesy, trendy vibe versus something that's darker and spookier. So I opted for a corner bow and changed the color to pink to match the existing tones. I added some sparkle accents around the edge just to really give it a little something extra, since there were already sparkles within the design that AI generated. Then I added a spider web in the opposite corner to help balance the design. And finally, I added a small clip art of postage lines that we saw in our original stamp trend earlier, just to really enhance it a little bit more. And to really bring the whole look together, I then featured it on a complementary shirt color that's also in demand for my main image. And in this case, it's a Comfort Color 1717 in violet. I would set my first thumbnail image as something like this flat lay to bring the design closer to the view of the customer while they're scrolling, so that the smaller design elements will stand out just a little bit more instead of getting lost in a photo where the design is maybe a little farther away if it's on a model. This would also look great on espresso, pepper, yam, light green, and even think about long sleeve versions like this one. I've had really good luck with Comfort Colors 6014 in my own shop, and I have customers request t-shirt designs on long sleeve shirts all the time, especially as we get into cooler months. And in Printify, you can get most of the same colors that you would in the t-shirts. And the beauty of designs like this is that they are scalable. So once you have a proven concept and a prompt that's working for you, you can take it to other niches or make small design swaps pretty easily. You can swap out books for school supplies or paintbrushes for different types of teachers, or you could change it up slightly and add little bows onto each of the ghosts to dress them up even more. We've seen neon color palettes start to trend, so you could experiment with a different color palette and so much more. One trick that I like to also use if I am not sure how to connect something with my niche or to create different variations is to ask ChatGPT how else I can translate a design or trend for my niche for extra inspiration and ideas. Now, of course, this is just one of many ways that you can bring new designs to life based on trends and combinations of trends and with a little help from AI. I'll link my design and AI playlist for you below. This is also something that I talk about quite a bit in my private memberships, both in terms of trend reports and utilizing AI with prompts like I showed today. So if that interests you, be sure to check those out as well. I hope this video was helpful for you. Be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so that you don't miss what's coming next. I've got more Q4 tips and design strategies coming your way to help you turn browsers into buyers and make the most out of this upcoming season. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.